Hi, welcome to property118.com. I'm Mark Alexander and I'm joined today by Jason Howard, property investor and IFA. And we're here today, Jason, to talk about pensions, which for most investors is something that tends to switch them off. But I've actually been really inspired by this because with commercial buildings, you can actually use your pension as part of the investment, can't you?
Absolutely, Mark. Yeah, I think for the property investor, historically, if they think of the word pension, they think of a waste of time because they think of managed funds and equities. But we've found for our property clients, we've found some ingenious ways to use those funds to secure property investing.
It's a very tax efficient way to do it as well. I know my office is in a pension scheme, and several on the business park have also got them in pension schemes. Is that the primary reason why people invest into pensions in this way?
Yeah, I think there's two main reasons. One would be your business who is funding a pension aggressively. They have premises to trade from, and rather than paying the rent to somebody else, would like to own it through the pension scheme, so they're funding their own future. The second one, which I think is quite ingenious, we've had a lot of clients who pull their money together. So at the moment we're finding quite a few sectors looking for care homes, maybe looking for that type of investing whereby you get 4 or 5 colleagues together and look at a project and look to fund a care home or something of that ilk.
Because it's not just offices, is it? You can buy properties as an investment, or you can buy any kind of business really and put it into your pension and rent it back to yourself, can't you?
Absolutely right. And also with the rules in recent times, moving away from the connected party rules, it certainly means that for an investor who has some commercial in their portfolio, they can even look to cash flow their own life by sending it back to their pension scheme. So we've had a lot of help in doing that type of.
Okay, so that's quite an interesting one. So you'd get investors that have got perhaps some frozen pensions,
yeah,
and want to sell their own commercial building to their own pension scheme, so they still retain control of it.
Absolutely right.
And then they rent it back to themselves, and then obviously that gives them the extra cash to go and do other things, whether it be commercial investment, residential investment, or anything else for that matter.
Absolutely. What we try to help our property clients understand is that their pension schemes can be part of the liquidity of their property portfolio as well. And most of the time people aren't aware of what they've got in pension funds.
Right. Are there any rules around this? I mean, perhaps I know there are, but I'm not clear on what they are. So how much can you borrow? How much of your pension can you use for a property? That sort of thing.
I think the big rule that would annoy most property investors is predominantly we're not talking about residential.
Mm-hmm.
So residential is on the whole not allowable, but there's certain tweaks. And also the borrowing rules wouldn't be like normal buy-to-let. So we're only talking about borrowing 50% of the scheme assets. However, if you pull those assets together, you can get some good leverage along the way.
So, for example, a solicitor's practice, you might have 5 partners, each with 100,000 in their pension scheme. They could put that together to create a pot of, what would that be, 500,000,
yeah,
and they can borrow 250,000.
Absolutely.
So could they spend the whole 750 of that then creating new pots?
Absolutely.
On a property?
Absolutely. We've done a lot of work in recent years, not so much in the solicitor community, but certainly in general practitioners, doctors. So with the government change regulations around doctors' surgeries and how they do things, we've found we've pulled investments from a practice together to do exactly what you said, for them to buy the surgery to practice from.
Right, excellent. Now I know there's been a lot of people using pensions to buy overseas investments as well. What are your thoughts on that one?
As long as it's a commercial venture which is backed by a major hotel group, each investment should be looked at in its own right, but we certainly help clients secure those sort of investments as well. And
does it have to be a hotel group, or could you buy your little bar in Corfu if you wanted to, or something like that?
I think from the revenue point of view, the larger the commercial venture and the more it can be seen to be approved by a SIPP provider, the better. So it could in theory be a bar in Corfu, but the SIPP trustee might have a question mark over it.
Right, okay. And are there any other ways you can access money in your pensions? Because I've heard about loan backs, and how does that work?
What are you referring to exactly on that one there?
Well, let's say you've got a pension with £200,000 into it. I believe somehow there's a way of loaning the money in the pension scheme to your business if it's set up in the right way.
There's many ways to get money out of the scheme set up the right way. The biggest thing we find for clients who have businesses is actually taking a loan from the scheme, or even buying rights of the business from the scheme. So I think the answer to your question is, Mark, depending on the personal circumstances, there are ways we can get money out of the scheme.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Okay, well thank you for your time today, Jason. That's Jason Howard of Insight Financial Associates. His details will be at the bottom of the screen. I'm Mark Alexander, and thank you for joining us at property118.com.
Thank you.